The first half of the season is complete in the 2023 Wawa Cup Series, and tonight we run the longest race ever run in the Cup Series on the channel at 150 miles and 100 laps around the Charlotte Motor Speedway here during Indy 250 week. It's the last race before the Indianapolis 250 tomorrow, and the longest race in the Wawa Cup Series. This is the Coca-Cola 600 from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to the Charlotte Motor Speedway here in the Wawa Cup Series. It's the 16th race of the season. Only 5 races remain until the championship chase cutoff, but it's our second crown jewel event of the season. The first one being the Daytona 500, which was won by Aliera, and now we're here for the longest race of the season. This is 100 laps now, 150 miles. It's the same length as the Thanksgiving 500 now. Tied with the second longest race that we do on the channel, and the longest race that we do on the channel being tomorrow at noon Eastern Time with the 10th running of the Indianapolis 250. But tonight, it's the Coke 600. Some of these guys who are racing here tonight are going to be in that Indy 250 tomorrow. But Stuart, I'm going to keep it in terms of Wawa Cup Series action here for this question. What do these guys need to do to be in contention at the end of 100 laps here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, considering how long this race is? How do you stay out of trouble here?
It's an interesting one with the length obviously being 150 miles. It's very different compared to a lot of the other races. We see a lot of endurance, and it's going to be interesting because we've got, to get up to the front of the field, obviously you must have a fast car throughout, pretty much all day long, because it gets really hard to work your way up, particularly if you're starting at the back. So guys like LJ Sameta, who's on the pole for this one, is in a really good spot. You got to work your way up to the front earlier. You can't rely on strategy entirely, but if you're at the front, you might play around with strategy depending on when you need to pit by the end of the race.
It's going to be interesting to see how that strategy plays out. It will be a 2-stop race here today, guaranteed, with the fuel window being just a little bit over a third of the race. So it's kind of like when we go to a shorter race on the 1.5 miles, and that cutoff is right around lap 35, lap 36. It's kind of the same fuel mileage for these guys here today, around 35, 36 laps. If it goes caution-free, it'll be a 2-stop race, but if you get a caution at the right time, we could see ourselves a 3-stop race here tonight in this Coca-Cola 600. But going to be very interesting to see how this race plays out. Last week at North Wilkesboro, Chase Buck dominated on the short track. The second time he led nearly every lap to go on to win on the short track. We're not going to see that kind of dominance here tonight. We're not going to see the 2016 Coke 600 like the real-life one. Of course, you, Stuart, won this race in the Cup Series in 2016, the season 5 of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series back then, so you've actually won this one before. But with that being said, we're going to see a very interesting race. A lot of strong drivers starting up front, a lot of drivers who have won races this season starting up front, but also some drivers who have been very good in terms of the standings, who want to keep that buffer in between them and the cutoff. And it's going to be interesting to see who ends up going to victory lane. But the points leader starts all the way back in the 18th row here tonight. Thomas Troxel deep in the field with all these guys starting up front. But it's 100 laps, and there's going to be a lot of time for a lot of movement here around the Charlotte Motor Speedway. In the championship standings, Thomas Troxel, of course, still the points leader, 69 points ahead. Nice run for him so far this season. Drew Webb, though, has been coming very fast in that 99 in terms of these last few races. Last time you were in the booth, Stuart, he went to victory lane at Kansas. He's 59 points ahead of the cutoff. Dylan Matthews, a great season for the number 47. He's 56 points ahead. Chase Buck won last week, is 40 points ahead. And Nicholas Sambadio, 29 points ahead. I know he'd like a better buffer ahead of that cutoff. Tanner Parton has had a great season in that 42, 18 points ahead. Seth Cole is 13 points ahead. Then Aliera, Brad Stover, and El Meadow 8, 5, and 4 respectively. And then Stewart, I know you're not going to be a fan of this one. Matt Tuck 4 points behind now coming into this race. Still has that first wild card and has a bit of a buffer on that wild card, but not at all the position I know you guys wanted to be in. Ludovic Charette's 19 points behind. Rogel Dorn 24 points behind. Christian Master fell back quite a bit initially, and he's actually starting to come back through the field. 27 points behind. Echo Evans Ross 29 behind. Braden Perez 32 behind. And you see the rest of the standings right there. And the wild card, Matt Tuck kind of holds on to a good buffer right now with 26 ahead of that. Rogel Dorn 5 points ahead, and Echo Evans Ross just below that wild card right now, 5 points behind. But after tonight, those point standings are going to look completely different again, especially with someone like LJ Semedo, who's right there on the cutoff line starting on pole. Could be a great opportunity for him to get his first career win on the channel here tonight. We'll go ahead and get these guys to roll off here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And like I mentioned, LJ Semedo going to lead us to the green flag here in the Coca-Cola 600 alongside him. Travis Crampton, who won at Las Vegas earlier this season. Fell back in the points, but has been trying to work his way back up in the standings. A couple of good runs as of late. And looking to get even further up and maybe have a shot at that wild card with 5 races left to go. Nicholas Samedeo, Seth Cole, they tied in qualifying, but Samedeo higher in the points. And have the advantage there and start on the inside lane to Seth Cole in row number 2. Row 3 sees Samedeo's teammate of Logan Williams to the inside of Trinity Ida. Great starting position for Trinity Ida in this race. And a couple of winners here. Echo Evans Ross, Braden Perez there in row number 4. Then another couple of winners. Drew Webb and Rogel Dorn in row number 5. Of course, those guys roll in the winner's showdown on Tuesday. But Seth Cole ended up getting the race victory in that one. Do you think Seth Cole might win here tonight, or will it be one of the other 39 drivers going to victory lane in the longest race of the season here in the Wawa Cup Series?
He's certainly gone back up to speed. I kind of thought he'd be up there in the championship, kind of faltered for a portion of the season, but he's certainly got back together. I've got to go with a guy alongside him, though. Nicholas Samedeo, I think tonight's the night he goes to victory lane for the first time.
We'll have to see what he can do there for Appalachian Motorsports. It's been a strong season for him, but is yet to go to victory lane. Tonight would be a perfect night for him, but also a perfect night for the guy ahead of him, LJ Semedo, who leads us to the green flag and the longest night of the Wawa Cup Series. And a good jump there for LJ Semedo at the start of this race. And Appalachia teammates Logan Williams and Nicholas Samedeo going side by side for second. Now Logan Williams has started to turn his season around here. 22nd in points coming into this race. 5 races left to go. But I feel like he needs a win to have an opportunity at getting into the chase, getting that wild card. Trying to get around his teammate Samedeo, but Samedeo working that outside lane to his advantage and holding on to the second position. Meanwhile, Crampton and Seth Cole 4th and 5th, and Drew Webb, and our last winner, Chase Buck, inside the top 10 here in his home race.
It's all there with the 59 and the 95. They were going side by side. The inside lane is the preferred lane for sure. But sometimes, every so often, more so in this Charlotte than in previous Charlottes, this BBMC one, the outside lane can fight back, and we saw that with Samedeo before. But as you can see, Crampton and Seth Cole easily working their way around the 95 to get to 3rd and 4th.
Great run here for Seth Cole after getting that race victory on Tuesday in the Wawa Winners Showdown, where he led 19 of the 20 laps to get it done at Indianapolis. This ain't no Indianapolis. This is a much different style racetrack than that racetrack over there, and a very momentum-based racetrack. You know, this track is actually very similar to Darlington in a way, at least for these guys and the way they drive it. However, we will not see the tire wear that we see at Darlington. We're going to see a pass for the race lead, though. Nicholas Samedeo looking to the inside of LJ Semedo for the race lead. And Samedeo going to take it away right there, at least attempt to do so. And a good run there is a side-by-side on lap 5 here in this Coke 600. Same amount of laps as tomorrow's Indianapolis 250. And these guys go around this racetrack maybe about 10 seconds slower than the IndyCar guys do. So this race here tonight realistically going to be a similar length in time to tomorrow's Indianapolis 250. Thankfully, like I said, Stewart is on the other side of the world, and it's early on in the day for him, so you've got a lot more time than I do to record this one here tonight. But Sam Medea would love for him to get a race victory here in this one, and this would be a race that Sam Medea's never won before here. He's won the Indy 250, he's won the Daytona 500, he won the Thanksgiving 500. A Coke 600 race victory would even extend his legendary status here on AG the channel.
It's incredible to think he's never gone to victory lane in this race. He's been a good driver for such a long period of time. I'm kind of surprised he hasn't gone to victory lane in this one. He's got the lead, and it's all, with the battle there with Semedo and Sam Medea, we've allowed Crampton and Cole, and we see Chase Buck up here now, so just all kind of closing in. Drew Webb, I mean, he's just been fantastic, particularly in recent times, second in points. Could take the points lead tonight with Troxel starting at towards the rear of the field, so we'll see here.
And I will say, Troxel's had a lot of races this season where he has not started well but has worked up through the field. However, at the moment, he's not really working up through the field. I mean, he's a few positions higher than he was earlier on, but is still mired deep in the field, all the way back in 32nd. Not at all what Troxel wanted. And let me tell you, Stuart, I know you haven't seen much of Indy 250 week yet, because obviously when we're recording this, qualifying is yet to go up at the time of us recording this race. Let's just say it's not been a good week at all for Thomas Troxel, and he just wants it to be done. And you guys who have been watching all week long know exactly what I'm talking about. Matt Tuck here in the 54, midway through the field. I know you guys have struggled quite a bit with your teams. Idell had a good run in North Wilkesboro last week, trying to peek his way back in the championship standings, but Matt Tuck would absolutely love a good run here tonight. And a long race, and he's still in it, and that's what counts. We'll have to see if he can continue to be in it. As for the race lead, Seth Cole moves to the inside of Nicholas Samedeo on lap number 10.
A nice pass there from Seth Cole, and you saw Samedeo just kind of wash up the racetrack a little bit. It's just too high there, going off into 1 and 2. He's not going to lose any positions, not yet anyway, as Chase Buck has closed in. You've got Crampton, Williams in the top 5. You know, just a little too high there. And Cole with a very good run. Now, he has turned it around really. It got off to such a good start that, as I said, kind of just struggled for a bit, but he's back to his best and looking good in that 82.
He's only 13 points ahead of the cutoff, but a win here today would absolutely give him much more of a buffer in terms of the point standings. But a lot of these guys, running up front, who are in that top 10 in points. Seth Cole, Nicholas Samedeo, Chase Buck there, and then LJ Semedo, Drew Webb, the Titan Fury teammates inside the top 10. These are two guys right here, Rogel Dorn and Echo Evans-Ross, who absolutely need a good run. And they sit 5 points away from each other, right in that second position for the wild card. Now, Rogel Dorn has had a good enough season where he could find himself top 10 in the championship standings. As again, for the race lead, Samedeo going to have some help there from Chase Buck, and then Chase Buck's going to try to go to the inside, but can't quite hold on to it. He's actually going to find that run there on that inside lane. And across the line, Samedeo's going to lead the lap, but Chase Buck looking to go 2 in a row here in the Wawa Cup Series. 1 in North Wilkesboro last week, looking to get a Speedway win. He's been good on the short tracks. We really haven't seen too much of him on the Speedways. However, Seth Cole pushing that 59 in the outside lane, and he himself is going to clear Chase Buck in the turn 3, excuse me.
A good battle there. Obviously, Cole pushing the 59 past the 32. 32 just was not able to hold on in that inside lane. Just too much momentum there from Cole and Samedeo. Now Cole back to the inside here for the lead. See if he can get it done.
And Seth Cole going to take it right back away from Nicholas Samedeo. I want to go through the field and, talk about some of these guys in this race. I mean, we got 100 laps here tonight. We're only on lap 14. Going to be here a little while here tonight. But they keep battling for this race lead, and they're just right on each other. And here comes Drew Webb in the 99. Kansas winner, and absolutely a driver to watch out for here tonight, considering he got that Kansas win. But I'd also watch out for a pole sitter of LJ Semedo. Travis Crampton has found some speed as of late in this 98 machine. Had a great run at Darlington. And like I said, moved up in the points. He's now 20th in the standings, only 48 behind the main cutoff, and now only 24 behind the wild card. And he's ahead of a couple of guys, or ahead of all the guys, as a matter of fact, that he's battling with in that wild card race. But the top 4 pulling away: Seth Cole, Sam Medeo, Chase Buck, Drew Webb. They're all right on each other. And only one of these drivers has yet to go to victory lane this season. That is Nicholas Samadio in the 59 going for his first win.
He certainly had race-winning speed in a lot of races this year, though. It's not like he hasn't been, it's not like he has been so far off the field. He's been up there in a lot of races. Just hasn't quite, for whatever reason, just has not quite found the top spot at the end when it matters. But obviously up there in the championship, so. It's still in a very good position, of course, as he goes now to the inside of Cole for the lead once again. But as I said, tonight might be the night. The 82 looks fast as well, so might be one of these two guys. I like Drew Webb as well on that 99. Won at Kansas, the most recent race I was in the box for, and he has moved his way forward as well. They might go 3 wide.
How about his teammate right there? Jason Meadow making it a little edgy here. Going to send Chase Buck up the racetrack just a little bit. The thing is, there is some grip there on that outside lane. We saw that in the Sprint Series race on Wednesday. We're seeing it here tonight with these guys. Looks like they might have finally calmed down. Dylan Matthews inside the top 10. Echo Evans-Ross in 10th. Then Braden Perez there in 11th. Another wild card driver, at least at the moment, in that 23 machine. To see what they can do. Aliera in the 5. She does not want to be a wildcard driver, but she needs a good run, and she's only 8 points ahead of the cutoff. And then Brad Stover, 5 points ahead of the cutoff. Ludovic Charette, another guy who's up there, 19 points behind the cutoff. He could use a good run. Tanner Parton, 6th in points, had a great run at the Kansas Speedway, 15th right now. Thing is, we're closing in on the first cycle of pit stops already. I mean, we're only on lap 19 of 100 here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And wow, Axel's just not having anything go his way this week. I mean, I'll let UC Stewart on everything that's happened to him, but wow, I don't think any guy has had such a worse week than him in terms of racing. That's just all I've got to say. Nicholas Samadio, and I mean in terms of racing and our offline, we'll go with that.
Well, at least this channel.
Yes. Nicholas Samadia, though, still battling with Seth Cole. Here comes Semedo back to the inside of Drew Webb, and Seth Cole's going to lose it just a little bit right there. What a battle Nicholas Samadia and Seth Cole have had so far in this race. They can't get off each other. They are just about as even as they can get. And like I said, they tied in qualifying. For two guys of this caliber this season, the tie in qualifying, that's pretty impressive. And they're pretty much tied on the racetrack right now.
Great side-by-side battle, obviously, with these two guys. They're just... I like that, obviously, early days, but they are keeping it clean, and Seth's obviously not giving an inch, but now he kind of has to because he's got... I think Samadio's going to clear him here. And Drew Webb on that inside as well, the 99 as well. So, although he's driving it pretty hard into turn 1, doesn't want to give up too many spots here early on.
And Drew Webb now kind of starting to move his way through the field even further. Seth Cole now down the 3rd, but Samadio continues to lead this field, and they're back to single file. I'm impressed with this guy, Rogel Dorn in the 1 machine. Got that win at Talladega, had a great run at Dover, now running here top 6 in the Coke 600. But Drew Webb, looking for his 2nd win of the season, he's going to move to the inside of Samadio for the race lead. We're about 12 to 13 laps away from pit stops. There's a good chance this race could go caution-free. I'm not saying that it will, but you want to be up front once that cycle begins, because once we get through a green flag cycle of pit stops, and if the race stays green, then these guys are really going to spread out. All these guys for the race lead have just been all on each other this entire race. No one has pulled out ahead yet. But once we get that cycle, we may see some guys who have an advantage on others. And another thing to watch out for, they have to be careful down this pit lane. The pit boxes here at Charlotte are smaller than some of the other racetracks we go to, and it's kind of tight there down that pit lane. So you got to be clean on pit lane if you want to have an opportunity at winning this race.
Yeah, well, I obviously won a Coca-Cola 600 back in Season 5, 2016, and one of the things that was important for me in that race is Semedo goes to the inside of his teammate for 2nd, was the fact that, we started a long way back in that race. And we were, I think, around the late 20s by the first pit stop. We came down a lap earlier than everyone else, moved our way to the front, and we came down a lap earlier on the 2nd round. And that was a race that was clean and green the whole way until the last lap. So, it's not necessarily, you don't have to be up at the front. It is possible to win, but it makes life so much harder if you're down the back.
I will say, this race has been unbelievable. Look at just how tight these guys are up front. We have not seen this season, but so many of these guys who are running up front, I mean, realistically, all of these guys could be possibly contending for a championship in the chase. I would even say Logan Williams has a chance if he can keep up and find the speed Sam Adio has had these last 5 races. He could find his way in a position, possibly. Drew Webb's going to finally clear Sam Adio for the race lead. Rogel Dorn going for 3rd now on LJ Semedo. And Rogel's had a couple of tough races, but he's managed to keep that last wildcard spot. And more points is going to help him out in that regard. Trying to battle there with Matt Tuck for that position. Follow back with that 54 machine, and he's not, knock on wood, Stewart, he's not doing too bad right now. Behind Tanner Parton there for the 17th position, battling with Brad Stover. It's still a long ways to go in this race, but as long as he keeps his car clean and he doesn't have any mechanical issues, I think it's a good opportunity for Matt Tuck to have at least a solid enough run to maybe move back into the top 10. The one downside for him is, though, pretty much everyone who's top 10 in points except for Thomas Troxel is running top 10 in this race.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. The biggest problem for him, and Justin Zidell, who is obviously one of my cars as well, he's back there. And even Brad Stover in the 48's back there. All these cars that are competing for chase spots, whether it's wildcard or top 10, they're all in front, and with the exception of Troxel. So, and even guys like Crampton here, the 98, he's been up here all day, and Blaine Keys in the 55 has just slowly just moved his way up. Mm-hmm. He obviously won at Texas earlier in the year. He's in that wildcard fight as well. So, but he's done a good job moving his way forward.
And Blaine Keys, teammate Allier, right there, caution on the racetrack. Oh no, Andrew Miller. And Justin Zidell. Your driver there, Josh Harmon, as well in the 78 machine, caught up in this one. Daniel Paulus Jr. destroyed as well. Andrew Miller, Christian Vargas. Well, that's our first yellow, and oh boy.
That makes things interesting with the...
I think it's a one-stopper from here. I think. They come down here, and I think it's one more stop from here. So, I mean, it's good. I kind of like it when we have caution flag pit stops here at Charlotte. This is a tough place to come down and actually successfully do a green flag cycle. We managed to do it at North Wilkesboro last week. That was a W, but these guys here at Charlotte sometimes get a bit edgy, and we just want everyone to be safe. Here we go. Drew Webb going to lead us down the pit lane. I would imagine going to be fuel for everybody. I think it's probably going to be a 4-tire stop as well. I can't imagine anyone's going to go 2-tire, even though the tire wear here at Charlotte nowhere near as significant as some of the other racetracks. Very good surface here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. But Drew Webb leading this field with Sam Adio, Rogel Dorn, Seth Cole, and then LJ Semedo, the top 5 coming down the pit lane. We're going to follow with the 99 right here, see what he does. And the number 99 machine looking to take some tires right here on the right sides. And looks like he's going to go on the other side as well. And it will be a 4-tire stop for our race leader. Should be a 4-tire stop for all of these drivers here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Oh, contact there. Drew Webb still on the pit lane. An issue on the 99. How many times have we said that this year? And LJ Semedo tapping the inside wall, trying to win the race off. It's Sam Adio who wins the race off in the 59. And how many times? This happened in Las Vegas. This happened so many other places. And Drew Webb would be the points leader if all that did not happen. But issues on the 99 crew again. It wasn't too drastic. He lost maybe about 15 positions. What on earth there?
That's not good.
See where
obviously seeing these pit stops. I know it's only the first one, and the second one's obviously going to be more important when that comes around. But man, you don't want to be mired back in that throughout the field. Troxel's really struggled to move his way through it. You know how good he is, so it's not exactly ideal for him.
No, not at all. I mean, the good news, the big picture for Drew Webb, he's got 59 points on the cutoff, so as long as he finishes top 15 here today, nothing's going to be too lost. Nothing too lost for Matt Tuck in the 54. Let's see what he is when he crosses the line here. Nothing too drastic, at least, I should say. Now, we focus a lot on Matt Tuck, but, like, he started off the season. At the beginning of the season, I realistically thought he was the best driver, hands down. You know, had that win at Auto Club and had so many races earlier in the season where he should have won. Still only has that one win from Auto Club. Troxel, though, great pit stop for this team. They went up to 21st right there, so watch out for Troxel as this race goes along. We had a pretty big wreck there in the turn number 1. Let's see what happened to bring out the first caution of the night here in the longest night in the Wawa Cup Series, the Coca-Cola 600, here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Well, Stuart, wasn't the 54, but the 51 with a reliability issue. And this is the worst place for it to happen when you're kind of leading a pack here through the dog leg as well. And Matt Tuck's right behind this as well. He gets out of it. Oh no, wow, he actually almost got spun by Hightower there. Look at that. That was a close moment there for Matt Tuck. He avoided it. But unfortunately, Brady Mardi Gras, Roberto Crown Jr. did not avoid it. And then they came down on Miller. And the 88 went spinning around there. Won an all-star race here a couple years ago. And then Christian Vargas. Oh, look at Troxel as well, just barely avoid this one. And then Josh Harmon has nowhere to go. And the 78 Sprint Series driver, Laura Chung, got a piece of it there. Vargas in the outside. Well, look at Monaco. Just squeezing right in there. And then Daniel Paulus Jr. Such a tough break for Daniel. You know, his teammate, Rogel Dorn, has been doing such an excellent job this season. Doing an excellent job in this race right now. And he's just not had it. He's just not had it at all. Such a tough break for the rookie driver there. And such a tough break for Justin in the 51. He's going to be out of the race. That is not what he needed, trying to work his way up in the points. It's not looking good for Zidell here at Charlotte.
Oh, I don't know why this keeps happening, to be honest with you, but Justin loses the engine, and then I don't know how Matt saves that car, and then it'll be Crown. Yeah, Crown's trying to get past on the outside, and Mardi Gras just kind of comes up. You can't really do much if you're Mardi Gras there. That's a massive hit. Harmon into Vargas, and then Paulus running into it very late. It's a very, very big accident, and that huge blow. I mean, for certainly the 88 of Miller and for Zidell. Certainly outside chances of making it, but that's almost fatal blow, you would say, to Chase hopes.
I mean, I look at the close calls for Matt Tuck there and Thomas Troxel. I mean, those are two guys who moved up fairly well, I'd say, in terms of the pit stop. I mean, Matt Tuck didn't move up, but Troxel had a good pit stop there. I don't know. That's going to be interesting. That's all I got to say. Drew Webb with a poor pit stop. Nicholas Samedeo going to lead us back to the green flag here in the longest night in the Wawa Cup Series, the Coca-Cola 600. Let's get back to racing here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. We're back here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway in the Coca-Cola 600, the first race of the second half of the season here in the Wawa Cup Series 2023 season. Been a very fascinating season so far here in the Wawa Cup Series, and we got ourselves a fascinating race on our hands here in this Coke 600. Obviously just had that wreck, but we had our first cycle of pit stops, and I am fairly certain that these guys are going to be able to make it to the end of the race with one more stop. It's going to be like right split down halfway, but they came down, I think, with about 68 laps to go, roughly 68, 69 laps to go, and fuel window about 35 to 36 laps for these guys, which is just past halfway in that little round right there. Nicholas Samedeo, your race leader. LJ Semedo, our pole sitter, is second. Rogel Dorn, Seth Cole, Dylan Matthews, Chase Buck, Logan Williams, Blaine Keys, Aliera, and Travis Crampton. Your guess is as good as mine on who's going to get this win here tonight. So many strong drivers up front. Drew Webb fell back to 16th. And then out of the race, Justin Zidell, Josh Harmon, Andrew Miller, and Daniel Paulus Jr. with Christian Vargas a lap down. 35 drivers on the lead lap. Rogel Dorn. This would be an impressive win if he could pull it off here tonight. Got the win at Talladega, and here he is going for the race lead on Nicholas Samedeo, and he's going to make it look easy here on lap 35.
Just straight, no nonsense there from Rogel Dorn. Third to first on the restart. Perfect a perfect restart for him, as here comes Semedo now to the inside of Samadeo. Yeah, that was impressive, the way he just drove up there and got around them both.
And that one car is really fast right now. LJ Semedo looking on Samadeo. Samadeo did not get a good jump on that restart. Seth Cole, ooh, that got a little edgy there. Not a good spot to get too tight there off the exit of turn before. You know, one thing about the Charlotte Motor Speedway, compared to a couple of other mile-and-a-half racetracks, it is pretty narrow here. Even in real life, you know, there's not that much room to really maneuver here around this racetrack, and you got to be careful. And obviously we saw that become an issue in that last wreck. LJ Semedo closed right up the Rogaldorn there for the race lead, but the one machine going to hold that outside lane. And Rogaldorn continues to lead here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Dylan Matthews now up to 5th. Here comes Blaine Keys. Blaine Keys won at Texas earlier this season. I wouldn't say it's a comparable track to Charlotte anymore, but, you know, another mile and a half, and I'd watch out for him. And watch out for Thomas Troxel back there, but for the race lead, LJ Semedo back again on Rogaldorn, trying to take it away here. They're still side by side, but this time Semedo might hold the inside off the exit.
See if he can get that run into turns 1 and 2 and hold that inside lane. We've seen at times that outside lane's been able to hold firm on that. Just the grip, just enough grip up there to hold on, but it looks like it's not going to be the case. Semedo's not quite going to be able to clear, but now he will.
He's got it.
Now he will.
And LJ Semedo, you know, this is a driver who has never won before on the channel, which is quite fascinating considering how long he's actually been driving. Especially at this level as well. He's been in the Cup Series for quite a while. I believe this is his 3rd season behind the wheel of a Cup car on the channel, but has never won anywhere before. It's been a great season for him and Titan Fury Racing. Of course, his teammate Drew Webb got the win at Kansas about 4 weeks ago. But I know LJ wants to get the victory lane. What a race it would be for him to get it in the Coca-Cola 600. Rogaldorn wants this win, though, and he's not going to let the 71 have it easy. Great run for Rogel here tonight. Travis Crampton looking on Samadeo. That is for the 4th position. And how about these guys here? How about Jim Vincenlev? Every time he's in a Cup race, he runs top 10 in this 07 machine. Great run for him. Matt Tuck there with Thomas Troxel now moving through the field. And watch out for the 62 as this race goes along. Did not start well and did not move up through the field earlier on in the race, but now he's starting to finally find his rhythm again as they're still side by side between Rogaldorn and LJ Semedo. Semedo really trying to work that outside lane. This is such a fascinating racetrack. They can stay side by side for quite some time here at Charlotte. Even though the inside lane is slightly more dominant, these guys have been finding some grip up there and have really been able to get it to work, but they've brought Seth Cole into this lead battle here, and this 82 might go 3 wide. We'll have to see if he tries to do it here on Rogaldorn. He's going to push Rogaldorn past the 71, and the 82 is going to look to take 2nd away from LJ Semedo.
Yeah, let's see if he can stick on that inside lane. Looks like Semedo's just got a bit more grip up there on that outside down the back. Should clear. I tell you what, Drew Webb has moved his way forward as well. The 99 restarted 16th. I've just seen him quietly move his way forward. He's done it. Be pretty frustrated with what happened on pit road, but he's doing a nice job. And obviously, a couple cars in the wildcard race, they're kind of outsiders in Keys and Travis Crampton have moved their way forward quite a bit in the restart as well. I've been quite impressed by the 98. Has been pretty fast here tonight. Just got around Cole for third.
Great run for Travis Crampton here. Echo Evans-Ross, another one of those drivers who kind of up there. She's been struggling as of late in this 39 machine. 25th, she struggled at North Wilkesboro a little bit, right? Actually, I can't even remember where she finished at North Wilkesboro. I don't know. Don't ask me why. It's been a very busy week in terms of recording. I got so many different races in my head. This is the last race that I have yet to record for Indy 250 week. Finally getting down to it. It's been a great race so far here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and Stuart can vouch for me when we say we struggled to get this thing started. You may have noticed the reflections went off the cars. Hint, hint, right there on the type of issues we had, but we've had a great race here. I mean, these guys have not been able to get off each other all night long. I think the largest lead we've had is like, I don't know, a third of a second. These guys just right on each other, and great stuff here. They're going to close in on lap traffic, though. Christian Vargas, winner of this race. 2018, I think? He's not going to win it here tonight. LJ Semedo going to use him as a pick, and Travis Crampton going to clear right there. They got to be careful. This 57 way off the pace, and Rogel Dorn is not going to be happy with him right there.
And considering we're on lap 47 of 100, and it's only been about, what, I want to say about maybe 13 laps since the restart. Considering how quickly he's been lapped, we're going to see a lot more of this 57, and not in a very positive way. I think, got to be careful here. Obviously, Dawn lost out. He was used as a pit. Got to be very, very careful. You see Liaro, we've got Proxel moving his way forward. It's like everyone, but Charette will be able to get in line as well. But this is going to be a massive problem for the rest of the race. And drivers are going to be smart about it. They're going to find ways to use the 57 to hold others up.
And the one thing I will say that I think that does benefit a track like this compared to, say, like Talladega or Daytona is these guys truly don't run in a pack. I know they were running in a pack before that caution up front, but it's a lot different here, and you got a lot more single file going on right now than you did earlier on. So by the time they catch Vargas again, they're going to be a little bit more strung out. Hey, I know you got to be loving this. Knock on wood. You know, I mean, so many things have happened to this team. I'm really pulling for you guys in this race. I want Matt Tuck to have a good run here tonight. It's the whole month of May, or since the end of April, basically, all the way through the month of May. It's just been such a struggle. Matt Tuck running top 10 right now, looking to the inside of Drew Webb there for position. That's for 9th. We're just going to have to see. Just going to have to see. I know you're holding your breath right there. Travis Crampton. Great run for Crampton here in this one. And he's looking here on LJ Semedo. Blaine Keys as well. You know, Crampton and Keys have had very similar seasons. They got wins on mile and a halfs relatively early on in the season, and then completely just fell off the face of the planet for a while. But they're now both back top 20 in points. They'll remain top 20 in points if they can finish where they're currently running right now. And Crampton doing such an excellent job, so is Blaine Keys. And if either of these guys can make it into the chase, they may be hard to beat because they have been very good on these mile-and-a-half ovals this season. And we got quite a few of those traditional speedway intermediate tracks in the chase. But LJ Semedo is absolutely another guy who could be a force to be reckoned with. And it's just going to be so fascinating to see who's going to be in contention to win this race because all the guys who have been strong this season are running up front and have run up front here today. It's almost like the All-Star race in a way because all the All-Stars of the series are up front here. But we had our little All-Star race at Indianapolis on Tuesday, and it was a great race there. But this has been even better here in this Coke 600.
There is so much talent. There are so many fast race cars up here. Obviously, a lot of these guys have gone to victory lane this year. Even Dylan Matthews back there. I mean, he hasn't gone to victory lane, but you know he's been really fast this year. Particularly after such a poor start to the season. I mean, third of the points. He's done a great job. I tell you what, I'm scared. That 62 is closing. He's crushed. He's just got his way to the top 10. He's going to get to 9th here around Logan Williams. That caution was probably the best thing that could have happened to Troxel because he was able to move his way forward on pit road. And now he's up into 9th place and moving forward. And obviously Matt Tuck as well, as you mentioned, it's been very rough in recent times. So, yeah. And obviously with Justin as well, obviously crashing out of this one. Fingers crossed that everything goes right for the 54 is now Dawn to the inside of the 55. So Meadows gone.
Yeah, this is the largest lead we've seen anybody have all race long. Half a second here. And we're halfway through this Coke 600. So LJ Semedo really doing an excellent job here tonight in this Charlotte race, trying to get his first career win. But you're right about Thomas Troxel now. After the week that Troxel has had, I don't think he's feeling like, this is a normal thing. I mean, after everything that happened in Indianapolis, just everything that happened in Indianapolis, for him to be running as well as he is absolutely what he needs. And I know he's the points leader here in the Wawa Cup Series, but if you take the Wawa Cup Series out of the equation, that's just all I gotta say. But I'm really giving it away to you, Stuart, on just how bad of a week it's been for Troxel. But it's even worse than what you can think. Let's just put it that way. And even in the winter showdown, it wasn't good for Troxel. I mean, just so many different things, but he's doing well. Hey, I don't want to speak too soon on this guy. This guy may just be just as fast. Up to 5th for Matt Tuck in the 54. And trying to get up there. Got Blaine Keys there. Travis Crampton, Roland Dorn. I mean, I know this one machine isn't quite as fast as some of these other guys. Rogel Dorn has outperformed this car here tonight, no doubt about it. Such a great driver behind the wheel. And, if you put him in one of those specific racing cars, or maybe even one of your cars, Stuart, Rogel Dorn probably would be the points leader right now. That's just how I'm feeling it. But Travis Crampton here, he's also a strong driver with a strong team as well. They've had so many bad luck things happen to him here this season. Still running very solidly here. Blaine Keys, here we go for 4th, and Crampton's going on Rogel Dorn, but this 54 has been clawing through the field very well. I think he was 19th on the restart, and now he's up to the 4th position here.
It's a good restart. Obviously, Truxell following him as well. Both of those. Truxell was 21st on the restart, so they've both had great runs since. Braden Perez has moved up to 7th, just very quietly as well. He's in the wild card hunt. I don't know it feels like he's been very up and down this year. I feel like he should be higher up in the points than he is. Obviously, Matthews back here in 8th. And Sam Adio, who led, has fallen way back.
Yeah, speaking of down, he's down to 14th now in that 59. Definitely not the run he was hoping for. Chase Buck, Drew Webb again. He actually got up front there and fell back. This is another long run here, about 30 laps. But unlike that first run, they have split off from each other quite a bit. And I think we're really starting to see the speed in these cars come into effect here. But yeah, Seth Cole and Nicholas Samudio falling back. I feel like those guys may be hoping for another caution here and maybe find themselves a little bit closer on the pit cycle, because if we have green flag pit stops, it's going to take quite a bit for them to work their way back from that position up to the front. Whoa, that was tight there between Yera and Sam Adio. I know we saw a lot of close calls in the Freedom 50 earlier today. Don't tend to expect that in the Coke 600 here, but that was a little tight right there. Great run here for Trey Wright, who's another guy who's trying to get his way in there. He's 17th in points, 34 behind. Currently running here in the 16th position. Joey Hightower is 17th. Solid run for him. Vincent left down there in 18th. Christian Master, a guy who has been trying to work his way back on the points. He's down in 19th. Not exactly what he needed. Elijah Gordon there in 20th. The winner of the Sprint Series, Trey Bartow. We had him in the booth earlier today for the Freedom 50. That was so much fun. He's there in 21st. Zachary Fitzwater, 22nd. Not a good run for Stover, all things considered. He may be the only driver top 10 in points who isn't running up front in this race right now. Cole Raymond in the 83, solid run for him. Brady Mardi Gras, Trinity Ida, Sebastian Kukulon, Eric Monaco back in here. Not a good run for Tanner Parton. I take that back. Parton, who was 6th in points coming into this race, they are struggling tremendously. Fisher G, Laura Chung, Chris Reynolds, Brian Webb, Echo Evans, Ross. What on earth is going on with this team? 34th now for the 39. And then Roberto Crown Jr., they may have gotten some damage in that 21. They're 23 seconds off the race lead there in 35th, and Vargas 2 laps down and about to be lapped again by LJ Sameto. For second, Rogel Dorn here. Matt Tuck's been able to hold off Thomas Troxel. Either that or Troxel's content enough to stay behind this 54 because he knows Matt Tuck is fast. And Rogel Dorn looking on Crampton as they close back in on Vargas.
It'll be interesting. I think Crampton's got to find a way to get to the bottom as soon as he can, because he does. Well done. That's
Rogel kind of let him in there, I feel like.
Which is interesting, because if I was Rogel Dorn, I would not have done that. Absolutely would not have done that. An interesting strategy there. And now Tuck's closed in, so I don't think that was the right strategy there by Dorn, but obviously still in 3rd at the moment. But Tuck and Troxel, I mean, they're flying those two cars. Really worked their way up. Troxel in particular is a bigger threat at this stage. I think he's got slightly more speed, but both of these cars flying through the field, and I think we're getting to the point where if there was a pit stop now, we'll be able to make it the rest of the way.
And we're good to go. It's a one-stop race from here on out, no doubt about it. These guys are going to be coming down here very soon, and these top 5 are right on each other as well. Now here's the thing for Troxel. He gained a lot of ground on the pit lane. That 62 could beat out all these guys on the pit lane. But another thing, too, Troxel only has 2 wins this season. He's had a lot of great runs. Just had a lot of good luck as well. Rockingham and Martinsville. And, you know, these Pacific racing cars have been the class of the field on the short tracks, but the speedways kind of been all over the place for everybody. And like I said, a majority of the rest of the season is on the speedways. Really only one more true short track left. Whereas Gateway, New Hampshire do count as short track chassis type, but they do race a little bit differently than the traditional short tracks. And even Richmond, honestly, is kind of like Phoenix in a way. So it's going to be very interesting to see, once we get to the chase, how well Troxel and Chase Buck will do there at Pacific Racing. But even all these guys, you know, and we'll have to see. LJ Cimento, with a win here today, I'm not going to say it's going to seal the deal for him to make the chase, but considering how well he's run this season, I think it's going to be a pretty good lock for him to make it. But here's another thing. Here's another big wild card thing. We still have 2 road courses left to go until the chase cutoff. Willow Springs and Road America. Those races could get interesting, and this could get interesting right here. Pit stops in the Coca-Cola 600 under the green flag. They got to be careful coming down this pit lane. It is a difficult pit lane to come down, and you see Trey Bartow kind of explaining that one for me right there, getting him to San Mateo, and then Cole Raymond also. They're on the pit lane right there. The Sprint Series drivers, gonna have to have a talk there with Mr. Bartow after that one, but no caution, which is, we don't want to see a caution in the middle of green flag stops, because that really messes things up. LJ Cimento came down first. Here's the thing, Troxel stayed out an extra lap right here. That is really going to make things interesting. Cimento and Crampton getting out right on top of each other. Matt Tuck, though, trying to get out ahead of this 98 machine. But Cimento wins the race off, but they're all on each other right there. Rogel Dorn in the 1. And now Troxel, who has a deep pit stall. And that may have actually been why he came down a lap later, because he was all the way in the back right there. We'll have to see if he can beat out Cimento and these guys. Here comes the 71 off the pit lane. Travis Crampton, Matt Tuck, Rogel Dorn, Blaine Keys, the top 5 off the pit lane. Here comes Crampton looking to the inside, trying to get that inside lane grip. They're coming across. Here's Troxel. I would imagine... Oh no, Dylan Matthews just blew up. The 47, who was running top 10 at the time, his engine just expired. And hopefully he'll be able to get back around before a caution flag is triggered. And what did I tell you before that cycle began? Troxel has a fast enough pit crew to jump these guys. That's exactly what happened. However, Cimento has the warm tires. Matt Tuck, Blaine Keys, they're going to close back in on this 62 here. Such a tough break there for Dylan Matthews in the 47. Had such a good run going for him in this race. And now he is going to fail to finish here in the longest race of the season in the Coca-Cola 600. 30 laps to go here at Charlotte. Now for Thomas Troxel in the 62. I feel like this is kind of like a movie. All the adversity Troxel has faced all week long, and he gets the win in the longest race of the season in the Wawa Cup Series, and a crown jewel win at that. But LJ Cimento, he has been the dominant guy of this race. He does not want that to happen, and he is trying to close in on this 62, trying to give this race lead as they battle side by side for third between Matt Tuck and Travis Crampton. Here comes Cimento, looking to the inside of Troxel for the race lead.
Ooh, that was close. Troxel did not want to give that bottom up, but he eventually relents, and now Cimento's there at that quarter panel, and Travis Crampton's cleared. He's closing in that 98. I think Tuck's struggling early days on this run, but he's not looking fast at the moment. Cimento to the lead.
How about this for LJ Cimento, looking for his first career win on the channel. And it doesn't feel like we should be saying that either. This is a driver who, it's a shock he has yet to go to victory lane in any capacity on the channel before, just considering how long he's been around on the channel as well. Troxel is such a hard driver to beat here in this series, even though he's only won twice this season. You know, he's been up front in the points a majority of the season, and considering where he started in 35th here tonight, for him to be running second here, still with a quarter of the race left to go, definitely impressive out of this Pacific Racing team. But Crampton closing back in, Blaine Keys back here, Matt Tuck and Rogel Dorn, these 6 drivers, the best 6 drivers of the night. They're going to lap Roberto Crown Jr. right here. Cimento's going to make it easy right there. Tuck trying to get back on Keys there for the 4th position. Not able to get the inside lane to work. Braden Perez is 7th. Drew Webb, Trey Wright up to the top 10, and Ludovic Charette. A good run for him, and a good run here for Christian Master. He's found himself 11th there. Chase Buck, Seth Cole, Joey Hightower, Sam Adio still 14th. Aliera, Logan Williams fell back to 16th. Vincent left 17th. Trinity Ida, Brad Stover, and Brady Mardi Gras, the top 20 here at Charlotte. And they continue to shuffle around right here. Blaine Key's got around Travis Crampton as they try to get around Roberto Crown Jr. These guys are still very much in this race. And another thing to keep in mind, they do not have to come back down the pit lane again. They are good to go to the finish of this race here. And, we've seen Coke 600s of the past where the drivers have pulled away, won by 3-4 seconds, which is a lot for an NR2003 offline race. But I don't think we're going to see that here tonight. These guys are going to be right on each other right to the end. And Blaine Keys for second. This 55 is flying out here at Charlotte.
A lot of speed there from Keys. Got down to the inside. I think kind of surprised Troxel. I don't think he was expecting Keys to get down the inside there into turn one. That's exactly what he did. With Keys, though, with the 55, he showed a bit of speed early on in the last run. But he kind of fell off a little bit. He had a very good pit stop to get back to the lead group because the other 5 guys he's racing had all broken away from him. And he great pit stop from the crew down there at Draconian Racing Enterprise. And he's all over the back of that 71. He doesn't want to use up his stuff too early because I feel like he did fall back just a little bit in that last stint.
You got to be careful. You got to be on the set of tires pretty much an entire run to make it to the end of this race. I mean, there are still 22 laps to go here in this Coca-Cola 600. A lot can happen between now and the finish. We could end up with another wreck here in this race. You never know what could happen. And, these guys are still all right on each other. And we could end up with the same situation that we did at the beginning of the race, where all these guys just kept on swapping positions at the end. I honestly thought we would see someone dominate this race, and we have. LJ Cimento has dominated, but the largest lead he's had all night long is like half a second. And here comes Blaine Keys looking to take that lead away from him. This 55 is quick right now, but he's got to be careful, like you said, Stuart, not to use up his stuff here near the end of this run. And it's going to be fascinating to see if he can, in fact, hold on. Troxel's falling back now on the 62. Crampton to the inside. Matt Tuck to the inside. And even Rogel Dorn in the 1. I got to give so much credit to Rogel Dorn. He's hanging right with these guys up front in a car. I see the ratings. I know who should be good and who's not. Rogel Dorn is outperforming this car. That's all I got to say. All these other teams he's racing with, they're big teams. They've been up to date with the ratings every single week. And it's definitely impressive to see Rogel Dorn have the run he is running with right now here at Charlotte.
Well, I'll just see Matt on that outside. That's not good with Vargas coming up. It's Cimento.
Oh, he cut down. He cut down. Dorn did it again. He just let the guy in. He's doing he's the anti-Ross Chastain. As for the race lead, LJ Cimento back to the inside of Blaine Keys for the top position, and they're side by side with 19 to go.
Oh, this is good racing. It's really good fun to see these guys, because these guys are not giving up on that outside lane. Keys, we saw Cimento was able to hold on to the lead for a while, and of course, guys behind, Crampton, Tuck's getting back into it. Maybe those tires have come up to pressure, I guess, potentially for the 54. He's coming towards the front of the field, but Cimento, man, he's going to be hard to stop. He gets back around the 55.
I think no one deserves this win more than LJ Cimento. I mean, he has kept this 71 up front this entire race, started on the pole for this race. Keep in mind, we don't see too many races now, other than the short tracks when Chase Buck starts up front, where a driver starts on the pole and wins the race. And for a driver to do that on a track like this, that's impressive. That shows that car is in a complete and total package, and to do it on a speedway is Fisher G.
Oh, dear!
And the caution's out.
That's a yellow, I think.
That's a yellow.
Oh, boy.
My, oh, my. How's this going to shake out? Fisher G bringing out the yellow. LJ Cimento will win the race back to the line. Ladies and gentlemen, folks, we're going to have a late race restart here in this Coca-Cola 600.
Oh, boy. Fisher G, what a year it's been for Hinge Motorsports. It's been a disaster. Oh, well, that doesn't make it any better for those guys.
That's yeah, Fisher G, Sebastian Kukulon, they've not had a good year, and Hairgel, man, he needs, I don't know, I feel bad for Hairgel, man. He's been putting a lot into that team. Will these guys come down? I mean, the tire wear is very insignificant here. I don't think it's the smart move to do so. And it does look like these guys will, in fact, stay out. We will have Roberto Crown Jr. in the way, but that's going to bring in Drew Webb, Braden Perez here. Vargas in the way of Trey Wright, Ludovic Charette, and these guys, so I don't know if they're going to particularly have a chance when we get back to racing. But, wow. I don't think this messes up too much with the top 6 because they were already so close to each other as it was. It's just going to be fewer laps for them now to be able to get around the 71. But, folks, we're going to have ourselves a great finish here in this Coca-Cola 600. The longest race of the season has not disappointed. This has been such a brilliant race here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and I think we're about to have a brilliant finish. LJ Cimento, your race leader. Let's quickly see what happened to Fisher G, and then get back to racing here in the Coca-Cola 600.
Spot. Exact same spot.
Yeah, just as Stewart said, exact same spot. Fisher G in the 37. And I think a piston went bad on this 37 machine, and unlike with Dylan Matthews earlier on, had a very similar issue coming off the pit lane. Fisher G unable to get back around. He stopped on the apron, which I guess constitutes as the racing surface on this racetrack. Is right there. The caution flew, and it's going to bunch these guys up, and we're going to get ourselves a late race restart here in this Coca-Cola 600. LJ Cimento, your race leader. Let's see what he does on the restart here with 12 laps to go at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's going to be 12 laps to go here in the longest race of the season in the Wawa Cup Series. What an excellent race this has been so far, and we're going to have ourselves an excellent finish to determine the race winner here in the Coca-Cola 600. LJ Cimento has dominated this race, has been the driver to beat here tonight. But Blaine Keys, Travis Crampton, Matt Tuck, Rogel Dorn, Thomas Troxel, they're all going to be going for it hard here at the end. Drew Webb is 7th, Braden Perez is 8th, then Trey Wright and Ludovic Charette top 10 right there. However, they are stuck behind Christian Vargas, who has been a bit of a slow car. Would like to point out Seth Cole a lap down after the cycle of pit stops. That is not good for him in terms of the championship standings. Going to be interesting to see how that changes up the chase grid. Here we go, 12 to go for LJ Cimento in the 71. And top 7 get away, but the rest stuck behind Christian Vargas right there. Seth Cole a lap down, but Sam Badillo getting out of line right there. He's 13th. Rogel Dorn on Travis Crampton. Crampton falling back a little bit right there as Matt Tuck also got around the 98 machine. Thomas Troxel as well here on the inside. And Blaine Keys right back where he started, looking to the inside for the race lead on LJ Cimento.
Good run for the 55 on that inside lane. We'll see if he can hang in there. The outside has been able to hang tough at times. Been good side-by-side battle. I'll tell you what, 54 and the 1, they are right there to pounce as well.
Rogel Dorn
may look to the inside.
He was looking. Matt Tuck right there on the inside. They're still side-by-side for the race lead. He's picked up right where we left off right there. Oh, will Tuck try it? Will he try it 3 wide? Not gonna do it. That's a smart move right there out of the 54. But Blaine Keys gonna dethrone the 71 from the top position, and here comes Tuck now. He's got a shot to the inside. If he can keep the nose in the turn 3, which he does. Looking to the inside for the race lead. Rogel Dorn gonna split him and Troxel on that inside. And Blaine Keys working that outside lane. And the 55 clearing with 9 laps to go here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Don't count out Braden Perez in this 23 either. He benefited from that caution. And Drew Webb in this pack as well. And Cimento back on the outside as Tuck falls back to 3rd. And Blaine Keys leads it in the 55.
About to say that 6-car battle's become an 8-car battle with Webb up here and Perez. Obviously, both a lot at stake for those guys, particularly Perez in that chase of the wildcard hunt. Semedo, once again, fastest car tonight. Back to the inside here.
And a good run for Semedo. He is not going to let this race go easy. Matt Tuck, I wouldn't count on Rogel Dorn in this race. This number 1 has just been lights out all night long. This car is obviously right up with the rest of these guys. Looking to the inside of Matt Tuck. But Semedo back to the inside, taking the race lead away from Blaine Keys. Now 7 to go here in the Coca-Cola 600 for LJ Semedo. And keep in mind, all these guys he's racing with have won before on the channel. LJ Semedo has never gone the victory lane in any race before. Can he pull it off here tonight? Blaine Keys way up high, trying to get that outside lane to work. He's going to be able to keep a nose on the outside, but Semedo's going to hold that inside and clear. And Rogel Dorn for the 3rd position, and here comes Drew Webb in the 99. He also benefited from that caution. He's now up to the 4th position in the 99 machine. And Keys looking back to the inside.
Easy to forget with Webb that he lost out on the first caution because of the slow pit stop. He was leading the race at that point in time. He worked his way back up to 4th as a result. To Keys here in the 55. These two guys have just been going at it this whole
time.
Pit stop.
This is a lot like Seth Cole and Nicholas Amadeo at the beginning of the race. So much like that. Key's going to clear Semedo, in the 71. I knew I was going to make that mistake at some point. 5 to go here at Charlotte. Rogel Dorn looking for 2nd on LJ Semedo. Trying to get it here on the 71. Drew Webb right there. Matt Tuck still in this thing. I think it's safe to say that Crampton and Troxel are a bit too far behind. But Drew Webb's not too far behind. Watch out for this 99. As Semedo continues to fall back in the 71. That 55 may just be fast enough to win this race. But here comes Rogel Dorn. Drew Webb getting a draft. Caution's out! Caution's out! Keys! I think they're slowing down. That's it. That's gonna do it. Or is it? Yep, that's it. Caution is in fact out. Blaine Keys, assuming he can make it back around, has just won the Coca-Cola 600 here at Charlotte. This is the first race of the season, I do believe, to finish under the caution flag. Oh, man. Such a brilliant race. I kind of feel like we were robbed of a good finish right there. It's not officially over yet. Blanky still does have to come around to get the checkered flag.
Oh, man. Got a feel for Semedo. He's going to finish 4th in this one, but man, he led so many laps, and he's going to end up behind his teammate. That's pretty tough. I ain't gonna lie.
It's a tough pill to, like, you know, you got to feel good for Semedo in terms of the big picture in the chase. Great run in the chase now because of this run here. The same goes for Matt Tuck, who is right there behind him. Assuming, you know, nothing happens these last 3 laps. This championship run now is going to look so much. It's going to be interesting because Tanner Parton, Brad Stover, a couple guys who, Stover had a mid-run here today, but Tanner Parton did not have a good run. He's going to finish deep in the field here tonight. And then Seth Cole as well, who was kind of right there on that bubble, did not have a good run. Sam Badillo kind of a mid-run as well. These championship standings are going to be fascinating. Wow, such a great race here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Of course, we don't use the overtime rule. We never have. I don't ever plan on using it. I'm not a big fan of it. The race ends when the race ends. That's how we do it here. First race of the season, though, to end under caution. And I think that's a testament to just how well these guys have raced this season in terms of being in it to the end. And just, racing each other clean at the end. That's something that real-life NASCAR has absolutely struggled with as of late, and has made it very difficult to watch, I will admit. But 2 to go, across the line. We'll keep it until the official finish of the race. Not entirely sure what brought out that caution. May have been Kukulon in the 52. He's got some damage there, but we'll go back and check that. If it was minor enough, we'll just pop it in the corner of your screen right there. I have a feeling it was a relatively minor incident because nobody is out of the race from it. I think it may have just been Kukul on there. Well, Stuart, what a race this was, and for it to get cut short, it's a bit disappointing, but I'm sure Blaine Keys is happy that that caution flew when it did. Rogel Dorn, Drew Webb, they were coming right there, and they would have definitely given Blaine Keys a run for his money. But think about this, and this is something I know you were a little confused with earlier on. This is the second win for Blaine Keys. It does not give him an advantage over Rogel Dorn, Echo Evans-Ross, Brain Perez, in terms of having more wins. However, he's going to get a lot of points for this. He's not going to get max points. I think he's going to probably get 45 here tonight.
Yeah,
I think. Because he didn't lead the most laps. That was definitely Semedo. But now, Blaine Keys, this is his second win on a mile and a half. We got Chicagoland. We got Atlanta. Michigan is a fast-paced intermediate track in the chase. Indianapolis, of course, a little bit different. Pocono. We got so many of these fast-paced ovals coming up in the chase. And if Blaine Keys, as he takes the white flag under caution, if he can make it in, this race is absolutely a race that's going to help him make it in. But if he can make it in, do you give him a good opportunity and maybe having a shot at this title?
Oh, well, potentially. We know, I mean, Dracoan, this is their fourth win. Their fourth win of the season. Points-paying win. Blaine Keys, of course, won the Smooth Fest as well, so this is his third, if you include that. So, clearly he has a lot of speed, like raw speed, and it's been a bit, kind of, I suppose, a little underwhelming this year, considering his point position. I will also say this. Look, I mean, I think there is a potential for him to be up there in the championship, but obviously you'd probably put guys like Troxel ahead overall. The worst thing for the 55 tonight is that Rogel Dorn finished second. That's the worst. That's the worst part about it and Perez was up there. I mean, the cars that he's fighting with in the wildcard, with the exception of Evans-Ross, all had very good runs tonight. So he'll close into the top 10. That's a positive for sure. But in terms of the wildcard race, it's actually not going to make a huge dent. He's going to make a dent, but it's not going to make a huge one.
I think another thing to keep in mind, Rogel Dorn could even make it into the top 10 in points if things go smooth enough. And other guys could fall out and be in part of that wildcard race. But regardless of the fact, Blaine Keys has just won the Coca-Cola 600 here in the Wawa Cup Series. What a win for Blaine Keys and Dracoan Racing Enterprises. It's his second win of the season, and he gets it done in the Coca-Cola 600.
He was very fast all night long. Obviously, didn't lead the most laps, but man, he battled the fastest car, and he won. So you know what? Well, fair credit.
It was
fair
definitely definitely a deserving win for Blaine Keys. And Semedo, you got to give so much credit to him. He is on the cusp of getting a race victory here. Now, I don't know how these next three races are going to play out. You got Gateway, Willow Springs, and Road America. I mean, the two road courses, who knows what those are going to bring. But then you got Nashville, which is another intermediate track that closes out the regular season. Could definitely play out in Semedo's favor. Wow. I mean, I wish we had a green flag finish, but you know what? That's the way it is. Such a brilliant race regardless, and Blaine Keys pulls it off here in the Coca-Cola 600 ahead of Rogel Dorn, Drew Webb, LJ Semedo, and Stewart. I know you got to be happy about that right there with Matt Tuck finishing fifth. You guys finally got a run that you guys deserved. Braden Perez, Travis Crampton, Thomas Troxel, Trey Wright, and a good run for Ludovic Charette as well, trying to find his way into that top 10 in points. It's going to be fascinating these last four races of the season. Take a look at the rest of the results right there. A lot of issues in this race here tonight. Obviously, with being the longest race of the season, no surprise to see that. Seth Cole had his problem. Laura Chung had a gearbox go bad on her. Obviously, we saw Christian Vargas get caught up in that first accident that took out Zidell, Harmon, Miller, and Paulus Jr. And then Dylan Matthews blew up. Cole Raymond had his issue on the pit lane. Same with Trey Bartow. Fisher G blew up. Only had 28 drivers finish on the lead lap. But, Stewart, what a race it was here tonight. And, I don't know. Does that get you ready for tomorrow? Two totally different types of races. But the Indianapolis 250 tomorrow. Some of these guys are going to be running in that race. And I got to ask you, Stewart, Who do you think is going to win that Indianapolis 250 tomorrow? You got 3 guys in it.
Oh,
It's going to be very interesting.
I'll go with a guy who has won it multiple times. One of my guys, Nicholas Samadeo. He finished 11th tonight, but he's done it before multiple occasions in the Indy 250. Indy 250 is such a great race. It really is. And this was a really, really fun race tonight. Yeah. Lots of lead changes, great battles, back and forth battles. Really, really good fun. And to back it up with an Indy 250, I mean, that's going to be awesome tomorrow. I can guarantee you that. I don't know how it goes, but I can guarantee you it's going to be awesome. And look at the results of tonight's race. I mean, that points battle is going to be really interesting because even Brad Stover finished 15th, for example. But even then, that with how well everyone else around him did, he might drop out of the top 10. And obviously Seth Cole, that's a tough blow for him in particular as well. He finished way down the order, so it's going to be tight. I don't know how much. And Tanner Parton as well, the 42 didn't have a great run either. So it's going to be interesting to see who's actually where because it is very tight. Down to Matt Tuck was 11th coming into this race. So and the wild cards, it's all heating up, and it's an interesting 4 races to finish off. A couple of road courses along there, Nashville. It's going to be interesting. Because the road courses are total unknowns. We have no idea. Or of course, you have somewhat of an idea who's going to be around the mark, but we have no idea, really. So, complete wild cards, and we'll see what happens. Last 4 races. It's going to be fun.
It absolutely is. And, this was such a great race. No doubt about it. Even though it ended under caution, still one of the best races of the season here in the Wawa Cup Series. No doubt about it. And it's all leading up. We finally made it, guys. One more race left in Indy 250 week. That is tomorrow, noon Eastern time. I feel bad for you, Stuart. You're going to probably be in bed, or only unless you stay up late at night to watch it. But you don't want to miss it. Longest race of the season on the channel, and the biggest race on the channel. You'll win that. Your name is remembered forever here on AG the channel, and I'm so excited for you guys to see it. It's going to be such a great race tomorrow, and what a great weekend it has been so far. Freedom 50 earlier today was amazing. The sprint race here was great. Had a great Coke 600, and I've already recorded that Indy 250, and it's a great race, as it always is. Huge thanks to Stuart for joining me here. This took a little while to record, obviously, with it being the longest race of the season, but Blaine Keys getting it done here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and the second win of the season for him as well, for the veteran driver. And you guys are going to see the point standings here in just a moment. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you guys tomorrow for the Indianapolis 250. Going to be a great one. Next week, we're at Gateway. Next Friday night, we're at Gateway for a race that is literally half the length of this one, the AAA Missouri 300. Going to be 60 laps there at Gateway Motorsports Park. It is going to be a short race, but very much going to play out kind of like Phoenix does. It's going to be interesting to see if those Pacific Racing guys have an advantage there with it being a chassis-type short track. Very interesting race that we're going to have next weekend. With only 4 races left to go before the chase cutoff, anything is possible. But, of course, tomorrow at noon Eastern Time, it's the Indianapolis 250, and that's the one we're all looking forward to, and we look forward to seeing you all there for the biggest race of the year. Congratulations to Blaine Keys for getting the crown jewel victory here in the Coca-Cola 600. Here are the point standings for the Wawa Cup Series after 16 races. And on behalf of Stuart Gratton, we'll see you guys tomorrow for the Indy 250. I will see you guys later!